Greetings, it is I, Tantus Nab and Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It's time to continue our discussions on the Pathfinder role-playing game. I'm getting back into combat. I'm going to be talking about some of the other actions you can take in combat. So let's just dive right back into it. Let's talk about the move action. Now, the move action, the most basic use of it is you can move your speed. Whatever your speed is, you can just move it around. That's a move action. Now, if you have other types of movements, you can also make that check and move that round. Now, if you do not have those special movements, there are still things you can do, like swimming and climbing. Swimming and climbing, you can have an actual speed in that. If you don't, you have to make a skill check, and then it will tell you how far you can move. The rules of each of those will define about how much far you can move if you're successful at the check. If you're successful at the climb, it tells you how far you can climb. If you're successful at the swim, it tells you how far you can swim. Now, also, you can crawl 5 feet as a move action. So if I'm on the ground, lying down, I can crawl 5 feet as a move action. Now, certain spells, if you can direct or redirect them using your move action, it will tell you under the spell, but there's a lot of spells which manipulate where they are in the world, if they're ongoing effects, that you can use your move action to move them around. Now, you can also draw or sheath a weapon as a move action. Now, for drawing a weapon, if your base attack bonus is +1, then part of a movement, you can draw it for free. So basically, normally, if I stand there and I draw the weapon, it's a move action. But if I'm running up to you, I can draw the weapon as part of it, if I have a base attack bonus of 1 or higher, and it counts as part of that move. Now, you can also manipulate an item as part of the move action. So if you have some kind of item around you or something on you, you can manipulate it as part of the move. You can ready or drop a shield as part of a move. With shield, you need to put ready to put it on your arm. It's also just as difficult to remove from your arm. You just can't drop it very easily. A move action would also be mounting or dismounting a horse, like quickly jumping up on a horse or jumping down from a horse, relatively quickly. And the last one I do want to talk about is standing up from prone. So if I've fallen to the ground and I need to stand up, it is a move action to stand up. The only thing I will mention is that it provokes an attack of opportunity, so remember it. Again, as I told you in the chart in the previous episode, the chart will tell you what move actions provoke. This one I'm warning you about because dropping to the ground happens more often than you think it does. There are creatures that trip, and there's also circumstances where you might fall down just because you did something. So let's get into the full round actions. The most basic of full round actions is the full attack. This is when I'm making more than one attack with a weapon. Now, after my first attack, I can choose whether to make more of them, which means if I make one attack and it's really successful and I have nothing else to do, I can choose, oh, that was a standard action attack. Now, if the thing is still alive, I can keep attacking it if I have more than one attack and see if I can kill it. And if that's successful, then that's a full round attack. Then I've done a full attack. Now, you can fight defensively as a full attack, too. I've talked about fighting defensively as a standard. It gives you certain bonuses. Fighting defensively as a full gives you also different bonuses. You're going to be taking a -4 for a +2 is what it's really going to be. But you can choose to do it as a part of a full attack. Now, certain spells cost a full round. Now, they work a little differently than other full round actions, is when you cast a spell that says it's a full round, you cast it on your turn, and it does not go off until right before your next turn. So unlike most full round actions, which you do just on your turn, the spell version of it takes actually a full round. It goes from the beginning of your turn all the way up to the beginning of your next turn is when it finally casts itself, and leaves yourself vulnerable to someone hitting you and disrupting your spell that entire time. So it's use that wisely when you have someone to block you and prevent you from getting damage during that time. Now, another full round action is you can always move 5 feet, regardless of how difficult terrain it is and how much your speed has been penalized. So if things make you slower and make you can't move as fast, or the terrain is really difficult and really hard to travel over, you can always use a full round action to move 5 feet, no matter what it is. It means it's like you can just crawl, like limping through whatever crud you're in, regardless of how difficult, for 5 feet as a full round if you really need to. Another thing you can do is you can run. You can run up to 4 times your base speed in a straight line. That's a full round action. Now, you do leave yourself a little vulnerable, and you get some penalties again to AC while you're running. But it is like, if I want to make really good distance really fast, I can make a run action. Now, there are some special abilities which are full round actions. It will tell you if that special ability is a full round action or not. And the last thing I want to talk about for full round action is the withdrawal. With the withdrawal, I can move up to twice my speed away from something. The first square I move from does not provoke attacks of opportunity. This is a good way of getting away from creatures. I can run away from them, I can withdraw. The only penalty is that if the creature has reach, I can possibly still incur an attack of opportunity because I'm only ignoring one square of threatened space. I'm only ignoring the one I'm leaving from originally. After that, any movement I make could possibly provoke. Now granted, you can move quite far away anyway, it's twice your speed, but it is a good way of, like, I'm fighting another person or person-sized creature, I can run away from it if I really need to with the withdraw action. Now let's talk about some free actions. Some basic free actions are to drop the concentration on a spell. If you've been concentrating on a spell, for free you can be like, I'm not concentrating on it anymore. You don't have to drop weapon as a free action. You can just like, oh, I drop some weapon in my hand. You can drop prone as a free. You can just like thwomp to the ground as a free action. And free action is speaking. Now the only type of swift action I will mention is of course a quicken spell. This is the one that can happen for more than one character. Other than that, most swift actions will occur based on your character, or based on certain spells and abilities you have. A quicken spell is when you use the meta magic feat quicken spell, and you can just cast it as a swift action. You can only get one per turn. It specifically says that under quicken spells, because you can only do one swift action turn anyway. But you could basically do an extra spell at very fast speeds. Now I talked about immediate actions before, how if you take one not when it's not your turn, it takes up your swift action for the next turn. Immediate actions, certain spells and abilities will tell you if they are immediate. And then of course the no action we list, or the special action I should say, is really the 5-foot move, which means that if I take no other physical movement on my turn, I make nothing that moves me around the board. No move action that moves me around the board. I don't move my speed, which is the basic one. I don't crawl or anything like that. I can step for 5 feet. If this does not occur to attack of opportunity, I can use it as part of any other kind of action. Like I make a standard attack after drawing a sword, because that's a move action, but it's not a movement, I can still take a 5-foot step. Or if I take a full attack, I can make a 5-foot step before or after it. And this does not provoke an attack of opportunity. So the thing is, you can do it before or after when you do stuff. Now, as I said, the only time would be when, if I move 10 feet, I can't make a 5-foot step then. I've already moved. If I choose to move and use a move action to move. The 5-foot step is specifically to basically mean I can like shift around just a little bit during battle, and I'm not incurring attack of opportunity. Now, things like skills and feats and special abilities, they will all list what type of action they are. It's especially the skills and the feats. If you're using any of them, it will let you know what kind of action it is, whether it's like standard, move, full round, if it takes a couple of rounds. They will all let you know how long they take. So that's it for today. I've talked about the rest of the sort of action bases. For most general actions, I've talked about what kind of action they actually are, whether they're full round, move, free, or swift. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. It's a great way of showing your support for the channel and the Empire. Please subscribe if you already have it. We're always looking for more members, more citizens of the Empire. And please share this video if you know anyone that could learn anything from this video or would really enjoy it themselves. And until the next time, I bid you farewell.